Good evening from Paris. This is Carlos Montero. What a day was today here in the Olympics. A lot of disciplines and after a busy also weekend. But let's see what we are going to do in this, what we are going to talk about in this half an hour of show we have in front of us. Let's go to Eduardo Rigonesi. Eduardo is on the street of Paris. Eduardo, what's going on? What are you going to talk about us today later in the show?
Hello, Carlos. How are you? We have a lot of action like every day here in Paris for the last couple of days. We've been walking around the whole city, and what I have for you, we have archery. We were there on this beautiful field, on the field of the Invalide. It's a very, very nice area. Archery was going on. It's already finished with the gold and silver medals being handing. And also, we're gonna talk about swimming. We were there swimming, following the Latin athletes that are competing in the different styles of swimming competitions that are present here in Paris 2024. We will be back with you, Carlos, whenever you call us. We'll be right here on the streets and give you a full report, a full analysis of what happened today in sporting action.
Thank you, Eduardo. We'll be right back with you in a few minutes. One of the good things about this Olympics, Paris is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and like Eduardo was saying, different disciplines, they have been playing in emblematic palace, like in front of the Eiffel Tower and the Versailles, like Eduardo was saying. But this coming Wednesday is going to be one of the most, at least one of the, I like the most sports in the Olympics, the triathlon. And the triathlon is going to be played in one of the most symbolic places of Paris, the Seine, the River Seine. But there is a problem with the contamination. Today, they couldn't practice. Charlie is in front of the Seine, and he's going to talk about us later, but he has a little information right now. Charlie, go ahead.
Hello, Carlos. How are you? One of the most anticipated events of the Olympic Games is the triathlon that will take place along the River Seine. But unfortunately, this past weekend, we had some unfortunate news. Stay tuned because later on in the program, we have more information.
So thank you, Charlie. We'll be back with you in a second. So far 2 days, Sunday and Monday, the athletes couldn't train on the Seine because the contamination level was too high. Today, the main dish, absolutely something that makes these games look great. Two of the greatest tennis players in the world, they face each other. Novak Djokovic against Nadal. Rafa Nadal, it was a great game. Djokovic was the winner, and keep going, Nadal is eliminated from singles. But that's not the only important event that we have today. Let's go back to Eduardo. Eduardo, you were telling about swimming, you were telling me about fencing. What else did you have to see today?
Thank you, Carlos. Just you mentioned tennis. I want to stop there a little bit because we talked about it earlier. This match, Nadal-Djokovic, should have been a later match, maybe semifinals, finals. It happened on second round. It's an historic match. Nadal and Djokovic, they've been playing. It's one of the main rivalries in tennis ever, in history of tennis. So this might have been the last time that we seen this rivalry. Last time they played was 2022 in Roland Garros. But it's the end of an era. The end of an era. Nadal's 38, Djokovic 37. The new generations are coming. So everybody who got able to witness this, I think Charlie was there. So he's a very privileged spectator of history in the making with the match where Djokovic will move on to the third round. Let's talk about swimming. As you were saying, you were asking me, there's a lot of swimming going on today and the past few days. Not that many Latin athletes in swimming. We know in our part of the world, swimming is not that popular sport compared to United States, Canada, or Australia, where they're powerhouses. They're very strong in this discipline. In fact, today we were covering 400 meters medley on the women's side. There were no Latin athletes competing on this discipline. These are the heats. The finals are going to be happening later on in a couple hours. United States got the best times, first and second, with Canada getting the third position. In 100-meter backhand on the female side also, There we had a couple of Latin players, Latin swimmers, Lucero Mejia from Guatemala, Celina Marquez from El Salvador, Elizabeth Jimenez from Dominican Republic, and Celia Pulido from Mexico, all competed in the 100-meter swimming competition. Unfortunately for them, none of them made it through to the finals. It was not a very good performance for Latin America. Not very good. Good performance, not good results. As we said, it's difficult to compete with powerhouses like the United States. Another Latin athlete that was present today is one of our own from Venezuela, Alfonso Mestre. If you're from Venezuela, you probably heard his name. You heard his name and his dad's name. His dad competed in the Olympics twice before, and he also has a brother that's also here in Paris 2024 to compete. Alfonso, he was competing today in men's 800 freestyle, and sadly, again, it was not a good performance of him. He came last on his heat, and he finished in the position 29. Of course, he doesn't make it to the next round, but I want to make it clear, just being here, just competing at the Olympics, is something to be admired, to be taken in consideration. His brother, Alberto Mestre, he's going to be competing on men's 500 freestyle and men 100 freestyle. These competitions are a bit different than 800. This is pure speed and power. We talked to Alberto's coach, Puerto Rican's Camacho. He talked to us a couple days back. He said the main difference here is that the races are so short that you have to work on the mental aspect, the reaction aspect, getting off the platform as fast as you can. Then the swimming is something that you've been doing for all your life, but mainly focus on the external stimulus that you get when you're competing in such a short race. He's going to be competing in a couple days, and of course we are going to be there expecting his performance. He's the third Venezuelan to compete in swimming. Maria Yegres, she already got eliminated women's 200-meter freestyle. We were also able to talk to another athlete. She's not from Venezuela. She's not even Latin country. She's from Mozambique. It was her first time here at the Olympic Games, and this is what she had to say.
It was beautiful, and I do my personal best, and I'm so happy. It's different things, but in the Olympic Village and here we are all brother and sister, so it's nice. The competition is different, the time is different, but it's nice. The emotion I feel and the open ceremony is it was very strong and very nice, and the competition too. So I'm also happy.
Well, that's what's happening today. We're very excited about tomorrow, the triathlon. I know Charlie's going to have more details, but Carlos, I know you were at the Sena River, you got wet with water, and you're still alive, you're still fine, so I think you can call the authorities and tell them that the water is okay, no?
I mean, I was there and it looks clear to me, but I mean, those people that spend so much money to try to clean the sand that they want them to be clean. If not, they have to think about a plan B, that we don't know what's going to be the plan B. They said maybe to change the venue to another place. But Eduardo, thank you very much. You will start talking about tennis. Let me finish with tennis. Great match, Djokovic, Nadal. And Nadal has to keep playing now. He has to keep playing with his pupil, with Carlitos Alcaraz, isn't it? They're playing doubles today too?
I didn't see it on the schedule. Again, there's a lot of, I know Alcaraz plays tomorrow, his single match. It's a bit confusing because there's so many matches going on. They should play today. I didn't see him on the schedule, but we're going to get back with that information because they should play today. But again, we didn't see it on the schedule. We only saw Carlos Alcaraz match for tomorrow. Maybe you have a different information that can help us, but as of, I'm not going to say something that I'm not sure. I'll get back with you with that information, Carlos.
I didn't want to put you on the spot, but I saw it was. But I mean, it's changing so much. And also like the medals, you know, we try to update our medal tables and it's amazing. China first, then South Korea changed completely because there are so many disciplines today. Eduardo, Thank you very much for this very complete information from the location. 10,500 athletics, they are competing here in Paris. For the first time in the history of Olympics, we have the same numbers, the same number of male and the same name of female athletes. The first time, never happened, not even in the last one in Tokyo. How we reached to that wonderful point? Let's see this story we have for you.
Only 54 names had been entered in the tennis and golf competition at the 19,000 Olympics in Paris, but it was time to break down the prejudices inherited from ancient Greece, which led to the marginalization of women. Although it is said that they also had their own games, the so-called Ereos in the city of Olympia in the sanctuary of Hera, the wife of Zeus, it was a sporadic activity and a religious cult, unlike the men who dedicate themselves systematically and even professionally to sport. In Paris 19,000, on July 11th, the British tennis player Charlotte Cooper began a new era when she won a first gold medal at the second Olympic Games, defeating the French Hélène Prévost in the singles tournament 6-1 and 7-5, and then another in the mixed doubles alongside Grenadine Doherty. But she did not receive her medals until 4 years later in St. Lucia, United States, where the ladies joined another sport, archery. Despite the delay, Cooper was at least able to celebrate and keep her titles, something that American golfer Margaret Abbott, also a gold medalist in Paris, did not get, as she and her mother competed without knowing they were competing as part of the Olympics. The first American to win a title at the level died in 1955 without knowing the privilege. These were still founding times that did not boast good organization, which prevented the Swiss countess Hélène de Portualis from becoming the first Olympic champion in history, because the International Olympic Committee did not recognize her victory as her participation in a regatta with her husband Herman de Portuales, which was not well documented.
Let's talk now about the Olympic flame. 111 days it took the flame to come from Greece to here to Paris. Different important celebrities from the Olympics, they have the chance to carry that flame. Here is beautiful. For the first time you are going to see the flame on the sky. It's an aerostatic balloon. But let's see how the story of that emblematic flame.
The Olympic fire began to ignite in Amsterdam 28, and it was not until Berlin 36 that the torch made a run before the inauguration, a total of 3,187 kilometers. On the occasion, more decent travel was in Beijing 2008, with 137,000 kilometers, and in total during 20 games, it covered 415,410 kilometers. In this way, today the Olympic torch gave 10 completed turns to the Earth and traveled the distance that is from our planet to the Moon. Let's say it doesn't matter. One more feet for our people.
Russia and Belarus, the athletic from those countries, they are not going to compete, and if they compete here, they have to compete in individuals events, not represented other country. The reason is they were banned for what's going on in Ukraine. South Africa, it got yesterday the first medals in rugby 7. South Africa also was banned for the Olympics because the apartheid. Let's see what's happened to them in that story.
Apartheid was a system of racial segregation imposed in South Africa by the National Party when it came to power in 1948. More than a set of laws, it was a state of policy that imposed the ideology of a white minority to maintain its political, economic and social privileges and deny the rights to the rest of the population. South Africa had been the first African nation to take part in the 1904 Olympics and in every Summer Games until Rome 1960, Nazi when it won 51 medals. But that same year, the Pan-African Congress confronted the colonial legacy of white supremacism expressed in the identity law, which forced blacks to carry an internal passport all the times. During one of the largest protests in the country, police killed 69 people and injured 180 others during the so-called Shepherdville massacre. As early as 1952, when the white minority was celebrating 300 years of colonial oppression, Nelson Mandela, at the head of the African National Congress, challenged the apartheid laws. After decades of resistance, in the midst of an acute political and economic crisis, and with the support of a large decolonization and national liberation movement, apartheid began to be overthrown in 1990. Early the following year, the 30-year ban on the ANC was lifted, and on 11th February 1990, Mandela was released after 27 years in prison. South Africa joined the Olympic movement for Barcelona 1992 with its first national team from across its society. In 1994, South Africa's first black president, Nelson Mandela, took office.
For more than 100 years, Parisians, they were not allowed to swim on the River Seine. It was supposed to change this with these Olympics. The triathlon was going to be, the swimming part is going to be on the River Seine. But the contamination levels, they were okay. Rain Saturday, rain Friday, so all the trash from the city went to the Seine, and he wasn't allowed to swim. Let's see what's happened for the triathlon. But Charlie Montero was next to the Seine, and he asked people if they would swim in that river. That's what they told him.
Hi Carlos, how are you? Behind me is the Eiffel Tower. Below that, they're playing beach volleyball, and along this river on Wednesday, they should be doing the triathlon. But we had bad news on Sunday because they canceled the training session because of pollution. Because on Friday and Saturday, it rained a lot, and a lot of the pollution from the streets went down to the river. I want to show you now, if you don't mind, how the water is looking about 3 days before the start of the competition. Here, we have a good friend always taking care of the water, the lifeguard, excuse me, sir. And here, we have the water. There's a little bit of algae here, but it's not so bad. The water looks clear. It's nice, it's free, it's fresh. I would swim in there. I don't know if I would do a triathlon here, but I want to know if the people here walking along the Seine River would do so.
Yes, because we are triathletes and we would like to swim with all the stars in the river.
Yeah, sure. It happens that, like my wife, we are triathletes, and we cannot wait to have a dive with all the champions in the coming days, and it's going to be an amazing day, clear water, so we welcome everyone to join the athletes into the Seine River.
No, not at all. No, never.
Why not?
I heard it's dirty. No, I don't think so.
No?
It's too dangerous. I don't want to get an infection.
No, thank you.
No, but why not?
You try it?
I would like. It would be fine, I think.
I would swim in a river, yeah.
You're not scared about the pollution?
No.
Okay.
Don't get too much water inside of you.
Well, there you have it, Carlos. Some people are optimistic and others are pessimistic. But thankfully, the organizers are very optimistic that the event will go on as planned. And on Tuesday and Wednesday, we will see the beginning of the triathlon along this river. Back to you.
Thank you, Charlie. The organizers, they have a plan B. If the water of the Seine is still contaminated, they have to change the venue to go to another location. Let's see what's happened. They have 24 hours to make that decision. It's almost the end of the show. Let's go to see how are the table medals. South Asia is doing fantastic. We all of us didn't imagine that. Number one, South Korea. Gold medals, they have 5, totally 9 medals. Second place, Japan. It's amazing. 5 gold medals, 11 overall. And then China, 5 gold medals and 9 overall. Latin America, Mexico and Brazil, they are leading this medal count. It was a pleasure being with you today. Tomorrow we are going to have much more information. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.